last year. In the eastern part of Australia, a large area equivalent to France and Germany all together is flooded. And in the place where I live, in 2001, there's a big storm brought 2 meters of rain in 3 days. All Taipei is flooded. Subway system is all flooded. Typhoon. They came and stayed there. In 2 days, dropped 2 meters of rain. Could you imagine? You look at the sky as if somebody forgot to close the faucet. Water just keep on pouring down. And so a village in the center of the rainfall, Shaolin village, originally looked like this. Overnight, entire village was swept out, gone. More than 700 people killed overnight, just like that. So things are really very serious. And many political leaders should take action, but haven't really taken action yet. And so if you notice in the Copenhagen meeting, so-called COP15, everybody was expecting so much that the political leader will come to some agreement for controlling the carbon dioxide concentration, but it didn't happen. And at that time, this is most recent, the emission gap report by United Nations Environmental Protection Agency. And the question is, are the Copenhagen Accord pledges sufficient to limit global warming to 2 degrees centigrade or 1.5 degrees centigrade? There was a question. And if you want to accomplish that, then 9 years from now, 2020, carbon dioxide emission should be staying within, if you want to stay within 2 degrees centigrade, this is about 66% chances, then human society should not emit more than 44 billion tons. But the way we are doing, even if all the highest Copenhagen pledges are implemented, we will go up to 49 billion tons. There's a gap of 5 billion tons. That's quite serious. Today, as I'm talking, the carbon dioxide concentration is about 390 parts per million. 390 parts per million, and every year we are increasing 2 parts per million. And within 30 years, it will go up to 450 parts per million. When we reach 450 parts per million, then temperature suddenly is most likely to go up by 2 degrees centigrade. And that's really very serious. Today, when we're discussing the possibility of human society completely wipe out from the surface of the earth, people will certainly think about nuclear holocaust, nuclear warfare, that will wipe the humanity out. The second thing is the global warming. Global warming, if we don't take action, then maybe halfway through the century, we cannot manage anymore, and things will become very serious. But the other thing, the third thing, is the loss of biodiversity, and that is something we didn't pay much attention to it. But recently, when we noticed that the bees disappears, butterflies start to disappear, the fruit production start going down, and it's important to know about 1/3 of the food we eat is pollinated by wild insects, worth over $200 billion. And I don't know whether many of you have seen it or not. 2 years ago, there's a National Geographic movie showing that in one of the counties in Sichuan province, planting pears, farmers complained to the government that because bees disappears, the pear production start going down. Ask government to help. Of course, government cannot help. And they said, if you want to keep the production up, you better do pollination yourself. So picture shows the farmer climbing up the ladders, go up the tree, and flower by flower doing pollination themselves. And you can see that 60 kilogram man climb up the ladders and doing what tiny little bee is doing it for us free of charge. And if you look at the nature service, nature is producing about twice as much so-called GDP, and that's disappearing because of the loss of the biodiversity. Of course, there are many other things. Extinction of species, and in the ocean, many things are happening. So, we have to wake up. We have to wake up. Waking up. We cannot go on like this. It would be irresponsible for us to keep on going like that. Of course, as an elderly person, I feel very bad that we didn't hand a better situation of Earth to the next generation. And if we are not careful, you might not see your grandchildren when you become old. And that's a real danger. We really need to wake up. Of course, when I said we have to wake up, what do I mean like this? We have too many people consuming too much fossil fuel or producing too much greenhouse gases, and we are changing environment. So we have to limit the population expansion. We have to reduce the consumption, and we also reduce the production of greenhouse gases. All those need to be done. All those need to be done. One important thing is, well, you look at the 4.6 billion years of the evolution of the Earth. We are changing everything during the last 250, 300 years by using fossil fuel, dissociate ourselves from nature and dissociate ourselves from sunshine. Of course, fossil fuel, if we're lucky, will last another 100 years. But we are not lucky enough. We'll be gone before fossil fuels use up. So, in order for human society to survive, we have to go back to sunshine. That needs science. That needs science. It takes time. But sunshine is providing us about 10,000 times energy to the surface of the Earth compared to the consumption of energy in human society. In other words, in 1 hour, energy transmitted to the surface of the Earth will be about the same amount of energy human society consumes in a year. Well, when you learn that, then you certainly will think that how come you guys are so stupid and keep on using the fossil fuel, not using the sunshine? Because fossil fuel is so easy to get, you dig and you're there. And we are using up the fossil fuel accumulated for millions and millions of years. So we have to go back to sunshine. It takes time. I think science is making progress, but it takes time. And we certainly need to control the population, and we also learn to live a little differently. We will learn to live a simpler life. Of course, the other thing is the organization of society has to change. If you look at the city in California, all the shopping centers in the suburb, and everybody drives the car. If you don't have a car, you cannot do anything. Of course, in many cities in Europe and Asia are different. In many old towns, you walk around and do shopping and do everything. So we have to develop the technology for community, like public transportation, or do something that you can get things done by riding bicycle or share the bicycle rather than everybody try to ride automobiles. And as you see, every house will have a dishwasher, washing machine, and all those individualized things for you to consume. We have to think about it. And if you think of for thousands of years, our ancestors did depend on sunshine and came to this point. In other words,